Welcome to Bad Playstyle, a book club style video game podcast where we talk about a new game that we all played every episode. Hopefully you listeners at home have played the same game we did.
So you can avoid the horror of being mugged by the infinite spoiler.
Yeah, we are going to spoil any game we set out to play and probably other games too, so be careful and check the fucking show notes so you don't get blindsided by the fact that, I don't know, Paul Rudd is Darth Revan.
Surely it's Doctor Whom. Surely it's Doctor Whom.
Doctor what for?
What's the what for? Anyway, welcome back to Bad Playstyle. I'm Matt.
I'm Keenan.
And I'm Owen.
Wow.
Are you a robot today?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So Owen, what did we play?
We played Cibele.
Okay. Why did we play Cibele? Why did you make us do that?
Because I like that game.
No, but why did you think that Matt needed to play that game?
Because it's a game about teenagers making friends on the internet.
Do you hate me?
Matt, you're my friend.
Oh my god.
And you're on the internet.
And you're on the yeah, we're on the internet right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are.
Well, shh, they don't know.
Yeah. It's hard for me to deal with this asynchronous presence. Where
Really though,
this recording's not on the internet as I'm speaking, but as the people hearing it hear it, it is on the internet.
right?
So like,
right.
So it's not on the internet.
So no, I feel like he's on a good roll here though. We should talk about why we picked the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually curious. Is there?
So this is
I think he did answer my question,
Okay,
but
alright.
yeah, I think Keenan's asking
Okay,
for
so
more.
this is Bad Playstyle, friends.
Yeah, this is Bad Playstyle.
This is our.
I said that, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
said that at the beginning.
Did you? Okay.
I said,
This is Bad Playstyle. Now we've all done it.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm Matt,
I'm Keenan.
And I'm Owen.
and we played Cibele.
Yeah.
Why did we do that, Owen? Because it was your choice for us to have done that.
It's a game about making friends on the internet.
Because
You're
I
my
wanted
friend
to-
and you're on the internet.
I wanted to avoid wearing a chicken hat, and so I
Yeah.
had to play this game that gave me feelings.
But it was a good game with good feelings.
Those were not good feelings.
Good feeling. I also avoided the chicken hat by playing game.
So
We're all chicken hat free this week.
Matt, what feelings are we talking about here?
Just do you ever hear that song by LCD Sound System, Sound of Silver, speaks to me, makes you want to feel like a teenager, and give you the feelings of a real live emotional teenager, but then you think again.
I don't know that song.
Okay, well, so
You're going deep there.
teenagers are
A
just
mess.
truly just the worst that humanity has to offer, and
They're up there with Pol Pot.
yeah, they just they're just the worst, man. I just fucking hate them, and they're shit, and the whole.
You didn't like being and interacting.
I
With
didn't like
teenagers in
being
this
and
game.
interacting with them, and I empathize with this girl. You know, when you're 18 and some dude that you have a crush on tells you that he loves you, you're like, oh my god.
It starts out with him saying, "You're actually cute," and she doesn't feel that way.
Well, no, she's just baiting him. That's bullshit.
Yeah, so Cibele is a game where you guess are we just going straight into it?
Yeah,
we're just going into Cibele.
That's what
All
we're
right,
doing.
all right. That's this week.
Mm-hmm.
So Cibele is a game where you play as a young woman on an MMORPG in the mid 2000s.
Yeah. All of this is readily apparent in the first.
You guys
10
ever think about
minutes.
how weird a phrase the mid 2000s is? Because
Oh.
that mean does that mean 2500? Year 2500?
Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
God damn it! It means 10 years ago.
Anyway, so that's what Cibele
Which
is.
is also uncomfortable.
Thank you, Owen. That's what Cibele is, and that's why you asked us to play it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You did answer the question. Does anyone want to... I'm changing this around. The segment used to be called Shame Keenan,
Okay.
but I felt like that was overly specific on Keenan.
Okay.
We did spread it out to be Shame on Us, but I want to...
If the segment title was Shame Keenan and other people were being shamed,
then we should probably need to change the segment
Right.
title. So I changed it to Own Your Shit / Rage Moments.
Okay.
So basically, like, moments since the past recording, and I guess it doesn't have to be since the past recording on this one, since we've never done this segment before.
Yeah.
But
What are you feeling?
yeah. So is there anything that any of you feel any of us has done, or even anyone outside this circle has done? We can shame our friends. Has done related to video games. So, and the idea here is that Keenan frequently makes poor decisions financially.
With
regards to AAA video games.
Yeah.
And
True.
And so
I'll own that shit.
in an effort to own that shit,
I hold that out.
it's a recurring segment on our podcast.
However, this week I have only spent money on reviving my computer
and food.
And food.
Yeah.
Correct. I do need
something
to eat.
only like barely less important.
Yeah,
than the
so
motherboard.
I got home from camping with my wonderful girlfriend, and my computer decided to turn on and then turn off and then turn on and then turn off.
It was doing the thing motherboards do where they're like, I'm not going to short myself.
I'm not doing that. And what, through process of elimination, came to be was that my motherboard decided it was done putting out video of any kind.
It was duked on the video front.
Which makes sense because, what was it, like a month ago, 2 of the RAM slots just stopped working, right? I was experiencing that, so I bought new RAM. Well, now I bought a new motherboard and processor and RAM that comes with that, so
sure,
my computer is like really fast all of a sudden, and I was
that's cool.
looking at updates that night going,
I want to interject here because there was a cool moment for both of us where he was in the middle of troubleshooting.
Okay.
And I had just bought a Pokemon Go Plus.
Nice.
And wonderful device, Fives.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got one of them too.
Yeah, wonderful device.
I'm probably getting one.
It's super good. You can skip all the animations. It's wonderful.
Well, not all the animations, but a bunch of them.
You can skip a lot. You can save a lot of time. It's nice. I know that sounds stupid, but if
we'll get to it. We'll get to
I'm
it.
curious how this relates because
But-
I'm
so,
lost.
hold on.
And I was there.
No, you were there. Yeah. So Keenan comes out and he goes, "Oh, I gotta go buy this like watch battery at the store because I need to test to see if my BIOS battery is dead." And I'm like, "Hey, Keenan, so I just bought a bunch of those watch batteries, and they're over here in the closet because that's the battery that the Pokemon Go Plus uses." So that was like a fun.
It's a 2032 coin battery.
CR 2032.
Yeah.
Challenge rating 2032.
Yeah.
That's incredibly high.
Yeah, you need a lot of level 20s to deal with that.
Yeah.
Approximately 500.
No, like there's dedicated nerds. They'll get one level 20.
I mean, like Keenan, you're talking to a guy who
That's fair.
did that thing to the Tarrasque that made my
anyway,
GM not even run the
I
game.
was going to go out for the third time to fix my computer, and Matt was like, "Yo, bro, I got this battery."
Yeah.
And then that didn't fix it. So.
But it was still like a nice.
I spent some time on Newegg. Shout out to Newegg.
Cool. All right, so we were talking about shames.
We were talking
owning
about shame.
shit,
Yeah.
And Keenan just told us he went to Newegg.
No, but that was because part of the
That's what
segment.
I'm owning.
Part of the segment was a moment in regards to video gaming that made you rage.
Okay.
And I mean, if your supplier cuts off your supply of heroin, then you get angry.
Yeah.
And
I
if
was in withdrawal from it. There.
Exactly. You can't slaughter nerds.
Okay.
In PUBG if you don't have a motherboard that's functioning.
It's true.
Yeah.
And man, have I slaughtered some nerds since.
Somebody's getting fucked.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting fucked. Owen, you got anything? Anything make you mad this week?
Nothing made me mad. I have a little bit of a shame.
Okay.
I don't like telling people this because I think people judge me when I tell them this. But I bought microtransactions in a mobile game.
Okay.
But
people have done this before.
yeah, I know, but I don't like it.
Sure.
I don't like microtransactions in mobile games, and I feel bad when I
was
do.
playing
I'm way
Pokemon-
less judgy now that I've done
I was
it.
playing Pokemon Go last weekend, and my friend was like, "Oh yeah, I just bought a bunch of raid passes. We're gonna go do a bunch of raids." And I was like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
Um.
So it's funny you mentioned that because I bought some lucky eggs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You
Yeah.
got lucky eggs in Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So I wanted that XP.
You poked some mangoes.
Yeah.
All right.
Matt,
What?
do you have an own your shit rage moment?
I mostly play Warframe. there was this really annoying glitch where one of the things wanted me to kill 30 things while never touching the floor, and it arbitrarily decided that if I fell like the maximum normal jump distance, that was the floor, and reset
so
every
it was
time.
just utilizing that Z value as the floor, and then being like, ha-ha!
So if I like climbed all the way to the ceiling, I was now.
That's really shitty because there's a lot of
there's a lot of verticality in that game. So anyway, that happened, and that sucked. But that was really more just like, oh my god, you're being such a bitch game.
Right.
So.
Can I live?
But I figured it out. I eventually got it. It was all good.
Good.
But it was, a frustrating moment.
Working through our shit.
Yeah.
Like adults.
Yeah. All right. Owen.
Yo.
How many satellites are you up to in Factorio?
I don't know. I stopped playing Factorio.
No, I know, but that was it was a smooth ass transition into what are you playing this week?
Oh, what have I been playing? I've been playing. I've been playing Tacoma.
Okay.
I've been playing that today. I've been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I don't want to talk about that game.
We don't need to talk about that.
I play the game a lot. It's a great game, but I got nothing new to say about that game that hasn't been said.
That game is it's 60% hanging out in a Discord chat with your friends, 20% tactical callouts, 10% getting shot, and 10% shooting people.
Oh my god! Actually, there's one thing about PUBG I want to talk about.
Okay.
One of the guys I play with, when we're playing a game, the first time we sight enemies at a range with which we might engage them or they might engage us, he always says, "Hey guys," with the exact same intonation, so that yeah. Sean,
no, I know what you're talking
Sean
about.
says it in this really particular way.
Guys.
Yeah, hey guys, and it's like I already know before he finishes the sentence.
Listen the fuck up.
Yeah, like I need to look up and I need to look at the minimap and see which way his guy's pointing,
right?
And start looking that way, and it occurred to me
it's our cue to win all of Oprah's money.
Yeah, all of Oprah's money.
We've decided that Oprah is the benefactor behind PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and that whoever wins all my money!
Yeah, and wins all of Orpa's money.
Orpa's money.
Anyway. Yeah, so I just said I wasn't going to talk about the game, and then I did.
We did, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I've been playing Tacoma, which is a...
What is Tacoma?
It's a walking simulator.
It's a small robot with 6 legs from Ghost in the Shell.
Toyota?
Yeah. It's a neighborhood in Washington, D.C.
It's a small town.
So it's a walking simulator made by Fulbright. I say walking simulator in a loving way.
Floating simulator.
So it's like Gone Home in Space.
Yeah, so you're floating.
Yeah, dude, shut up. You only float for a little bit of it.
Right,
Most of it's not weightless.
Fair.
Because
I didn't know that.
It's a space station made of rotating toruses, so only the central torus is weightless.
Yeah, shut up, nerd. My bad. Yeah, shut up,
My bad.
Nerd.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shut up!
Oh, wait, did you play Tacoma? Can you tell us about Tacoma, Keenan?
I would love to hear more.
Is this your special bush?
So you're checking out a space station that all the crew's dead or missing or something, and you're an investigator for the company that owns
it. Duskers. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Yeah.
People Duskers.
Yeah, this is People Duskers. And so you go through the rooms and it uses this narrative device that is in The Division, where in The Division there's times where you're wandering around the world and your little iPod tells you oh hey, if you want I can show you a cool hologram playback of a thing that happened here, and you turn it on, and in the Division they're super one note.
It gives you 1/100th of the story.
Yeah, I would say it's a smaller fraction than that. But they're also for the most part they're pretty one dimensional too.
Yeah,
it's just a thing happened here.
It's like this weird slice of life thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're not meant to be main characters. That's fine.
I liked the one that was the Breaking Bad reference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Tacoma does that, but instead of it just being a single moment where a person shoots another person or calls someone on the phone or whatever, you'll see maybe a 5-minute scene in not just one room but a whole area of the station, and people will have these sort of AR hologram representations of themselves walking around and talking to one another. So there was one where people are getting ready for a party and they're about to cut the cake and they go, "Hey boss, come on in here." And she's like, "What?" And she comes out and she comes and talks to them. But the recording had already been playing for half a minute when that happened. So you can actually rewind it, go into her office, and see who she was talking to when they said, "Hey boss, come over here." And she had to put someone on hold.
Did you ever play the free VR title Quanero?
No.
It's the same thing, but it's only one scene and it's in VR. It's really cool. Check
Oh,
it
cool.
out. Yeah. So,
Well, that's funny because I always thought that Gone Home would make a cool VR game.
yeah, and that's like as you're saying this, I'm like, they need to make this a VR. Like
Yeah.
the next game Fulbright makes, that's the same like walking simulator with this shit going on. Just literally, the game is like 1 hour of full, like just of a place.
Yeah.
Right, and you have to figure out the mystery. And you can rewind, pause, play,
Right,
and the
like,
whole thing.
And their whole thing is about like immersion in a space.
Yeah.
VR makes sense for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and well, and like it's also about like the physicality of like rummaging through things you
Yeah,
find,
yeah, yeah.
you know, like picking up diaries and post-it notes and crap. I think VR would be fun for that.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Anyway, so it's that. The game's pretty short from what I understand. I've only played like maybe 25 minutes of it or something like that. But
Okay, but like it's dense, so that's
Yeah.
like that's a lot.
yeah, it's a cool game.
Right.
And then I've been playing Pokemon Go with my girlfriend, and I like that game. I got a Pokemon Go Plus, and it lets me catch a lot of Pokemon at work because my classroom, my workspace, is 2 Pokestops. So I just have it turned on, clipped
Lucky
to my
duck.
belt. Yeah, and I just collect balls
Ching,
all day and catch
ching.
Pokemon, and yeah, and like I came home from work one day with like more than 100 Pokemon I'd caught just while working, and they were all trash. So like, hey, go me.
But I mean, those Pokemon are keef that make the blunt of your nice Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. They make the
Drying them fuckers up.
they make the Pokechow that I feed them to
Yeah.
give them
Yeah.
fucking mad Pokemon disease.
Wrestlers must feed upon the flesh of other wrestlers
Yes,
to
exactly.
become stronger.
That's how you
Strongler. Wow.
No,
Wow.
that's my finisher.
Yeah.
Strongler.
Yeah, I strongler them.
I'm the Strunkston Strongler.
I did them a strongler.
Savory Scrimp the Strunkston Strongler.
All right.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're building whole narratives now.
Speaking of Owen, Keenan, what'd you play this week?
What? That's not.
The master of transition.
Answer the man.
I played.
Cha-ching! Sagoo! Sagoo!
Whoa. I don't like these left and right hooks with Sagoo. Okay, so
What, he's not saying Sagoo?
what I've played.
Estaka.
I'm trying. Okay, I played a lot of Warframe because I saw Matt playing a lot of Warframe.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
What did you play?
Space Swords?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I played a lot of Space Swords because I saw Matt playing it and remembered I liked things about that game. So I've been doing that, and that's pretty cool. And playing a lot of PUBG. Weirdly enough, though, I haven't played PUBG with Owen like this week, and that's just a weird happenstance because
Yeah.
we were playing a lot together before.
As an outsider to the whole PUBG experience within our friends group, I've noticed that like squads are starting to calcify.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I remember like when I went to college, the first week everyone was like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's blah blah blah," and then after that first week, it was like, "I don't want to talk to you. I don't know." If
Right. Right?
Yeah.
No, I can see how some of that's... I think it's a timing thing with Owen and I specifically.
Sure. I mean, I'm not
But-
saying it's like a thing. I just noticed a sort of.
No, I don't have anything wrong with playing with Owen. Let's see, what else? I've been playing those two things mostly, and then yesterday I picked up The Witcher 3 and played that for like 4 hours.
What is that?
It is a game from like 2 years ago that won many awards and is very large and very narratively dense.
Okay.
And Polish.
So
Polish.
so it's a walking simulator?
Yeah.
There is so much walking in that
Okay.
game. Holy
Got
shit.
that cleared up.
Yeah.
You ride a horse.
That's the
too.
primary thing you do in that game. Is walk.
But yeah, it's I keep that's one of those games where I always feel bad when I come back to it. 'Cause, God, this is so fucking good. But it's also one of those games that because it's so big, I walk away from it.
But seriously,
so
we're making fun of you. But what is The Witcher 3? Describe that.
Oh,
video game.
okay. So it's a big action adventure RPG set in a fictional universe written by a Polish guy, which is why you did the Polish joke.
Yeah.
You're a monster hunter. You're genetically mutated / take potions and make bombs that people just can't do normally. So that's like a lot of the gameplay elements. Is like you walk into a town and you go up to a board and you look at the board. And there's a couple messages that are like, "Yo, the sheep got out," right? Like standard shit for a town. And then there's one dude who's like, "My wife was eaten by a werewolf," and you're like, "Whoa, that's some shit I can do."
Werewolf. That's my bailiwick.
Yeah, and so you pick up the contract and you go talk to them and you get a little info. And they're like, "Yeah, so it happened over there. You should go look." And then you go do like Batman detective mode stuff where you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna. Oh look, I can try out. You like find tracks and you follow them to the werewolf den or whatever."
And then you slay the werewolf.
And then you get into your bestiary and you're like, werewolves are hurt by these things. So you bust out like your fire magic and your werewolf bombs and you put fucking hybrid oil on your sword so it does more damage to werewolves. And you go fucking wreck a werewolf. Come
Cool.
back with a werewolf head and be like, "Fucking pay me."
Sounds great.
And that's what you do, and it's got a good loop to it all, and it's really narratively dense, which is nice with everything that I play that isn't.
Sure.
So it's good to keep coming back to.
All right.
I was just listening to us in editing. I was listening to us bitch about how terrible Bethesda is
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
at writing.
They still are.
You were talking about the Dawn Guard expansion.
Yeah.
And how fucking terrible the intro to that is.
Yeah.
Just wanted to revisit that briefly because, fuck you, Todd Howard, for ruining two of my favorite game
Yeah.
franchises.
It's like 8 months later, still bad.
Yep.
Not a lot of progress on that.
Still angry about it. So me, I've been on vacation, which means I played just a whole slew of video games. So many, at least 2. I played.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, I played Gorn,
Gorn.
which is this VR title I picked up.
Do you fight a?
It's called Visceral Reality.
Fight a green lizard man.
Do you fight? Yeah, I was about to say an alien starship captain.
You do not. I
Do
do
you
not
one
make a
punch them?
gun out of a log.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I do get a huge spear, and I can pry bar
I'm
people's
so
heads
hyped on
off.
that as a game
Dude,
now.
can you imagine that with VR controllers, picking up a styrofoam boulder over your head and
So
smacking a
that's
dude in a shitty rubber suit?
That's the thing. That's the thing about Gorn is all the other
I want
dudes,
that game.
all the other dudes in Gorn are big Brock Lesnar's, as Kenan
Yes,
said.
they are totally Brock Lesnar beefcakes.
They're big Brock Lesnar beefcakes, and they quap at you, which is
The game is the Quapus.
yeah, it's a deep cut to a Flash game where
Yeah,
where Quap is
I
the
think people
controls.
know what Quap
I know,
is.
but your parents are gonna listen to this. They don't know what Quap is.
Yeah.
Anyway, look up Quap.
It's
Look
very
up a video
difficult-
of Quap if you don't know what Quap
Very
is.
difficult control scheme.
QWOP.
Yeah, and those are the control schemes for your legs, and it just ends up being. Anyway, they come at you, the Brock Lesnar's, and they come at you with swords and axes that they're
Varying
holding wrong.
degrees of armor.
In varying degrees of armor, and you have to kill them. And one of your options, funny enough, is a rock. You can pick
Is
up
it
a
a
rock.
styrofoam rock?
It is a styrofoam rock. You can pick it up and you smash them in the face with it.
Nice.
My favorite weapon is the spear because you can literally pry bar people's heads off.
Yeah,
You
you just
hit them
slip
in
it
the
in there
right
and pop.
Yeah, if you hit
It's
them right
pretty
into the
cool.
chin and then wrench your backhand down, it'll just fling
I
their head
refer
right
to it
off.
as the can opener when he does it really fluidly because it's
Okay.
in, there goes their head.
Yeah, the
Alright.
spear is way good,
Very
which
good.
was really nice for me because I was always the kid, way back in high school times, middle school times,
Way
where
back.
they'd be like, okay, anime, and I'd be like, anime's cool. This is back when I thought that
Yeah.
a lot, frequently instead of just infrequently now.
Yeah.
Instead of way less.
Yeah, and there was the formula was always there was the dude with the sword who was super boring, and there was a dude with a spear who was he had some awesome character trait, he was sweet with the ladies or something like that, and I was always like, spear guy, yeah, and then the anime would always be like, no man, sword guy, and I'm like,
Sword.
what, why?
Sword guys who matters. Spear guy is there for comedic effect.
Yeah, I fucking hate that
It's
shit.
rough. Especially when spears are fucking dope.
Yeah, spears are dope. Yeah, anyway, whatever. I'm getting off topic. Then I played. Did I say I played Warframe?
Yeah.
No, well,
Well,
I did earlier.
you said
Yeah.
you played 2 games, and that's a pretty constant one, so it's kind of like
I played
easy to get there.
Warframe. I played a lot of
Played
Warframe.
a lot of Warframe.
I don't really have anything to say about that.
He's still playing it.
Yep.
It's still good to him.
I feel like it. I can't talk about Warframe in anything but the most general of terms without immediately getting to that WoW raid culture level of opacity.
yeah.
Just instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's I formatted my Tiburon so I could put a ribbon on it, and Owen's looking at me already,
and I'm over here yeah, that sounds great.
Right, so
Because I play it too.
there's this whole other language
It's
that
fucked
you
up.
have to speak.
It's Warframe is free the Division or whatever those or Destiny, but it's good ish.
Wow. I wasn't gonna say any of those
Nope,
mean things
I'm doing
that you
it.
just said.
I'm doing it. I played both of those games and didn't like that loop. I like the Warframe loop. I did it.
Sure.
This place is hurtful.
Our dances are free. Yeah, whatever.
They need to make that a shirt.
Well, so every time, so Steve, the head dev, and Rebecca, every time you bring up Destiny to them, they just kind of stand there smiling. They don't say anything, until you stop speaking about Destiny. It was really funny. They're like, yeah, so Warframe's like Destiny but good, and Steve just pulls his collar, ee. It makes it. They're very Canadian.
Yeah,
Right? And so,
they're not trying to shit talk.
You can't kick people from your squad. You have to leave your squad and re-invite all the people you wanted to keep.
Yeah.
The game
it's in
from
there.
the ground up is Canadian. It's super. passive aggressive.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is where we put the most dangerous substance that we have access to, because we finished speaking about the other experiences that we've had since the last recording. So we bust out the radioactive, cosmological, infinite spoiler at this point.
Ah, right. I was getting scared there, but now I'm not.
I'm glad. You should be.
Yeah.
Because we
like,
will.
Fuck, what are we doing?
We will ruin any game that we talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
And
please have played it first.
Yeah. Please have played the game.
Yeah, also, I think that would be more fun if you've played it.
I think that you'll have more fun.
Then you can agree or yell at us, fuck us, etc.
Yeah. Tell us we're wrong.
Don't fuck me.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, so the game was Cibele. We already talked about that earlier. That it was Cibele.
We nailed it.
And then Owen talked about why. But now it's time to talk about the game, Cibele. So what? Let's first of all let's talk about what. Let's just do a round table real quick. What was the thing that worked the most for you with Cibele? You had some.
Okay, so like.
This is Owen.
Yeah, if we talk about the gameplay elements that are in the game, like.
Yeah, well, just not necessarily even gameplay elements, just like the thing about Cibele that worked the best for you.
Yeah. Well, so I want to preface what I want to say about what worked for me.
Okay.
So like the game consists of like a desktop simulator. You have like a fake computer desktop where you can rummage through emails and instant messages and files on your desktop. The game also consists of very short video vignettes, and then also and then lastly, playing a fake MMORPG with another person.
There's an IM client and like a Twitter.
Yeah.
Thing
I don't think it's Twitter.
It function like people are posting pictures in it.
Yeah,
and so it's not those things. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, it's like LiveJournal or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because anyway,
I'm feeling sad.
Yeah. So the part that worked the best for me though is the part where you're in the fake MMO, where it has it very well captures the feel of like that like parallel play you have with your friends when you're both playing an MMO. Where like we're out together, we're stomping through the woods, we're killing monsters together. Maybe my friend wanders off to go get a thing sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna mine something over there.
Yeah, right? And the game has voiceover this whole time that you're playing, and it really captures that style of like, it's not like when you sit with your friends like on the porch or like around a campfire or something where you're just continuously speaking. Like it's like talking in little snippets back and forth at each other in a mixture of what's happening in the game and talking about things in the meat space in the real world.
Right. Sean might say, "Hey guys," and you know that there's someone to shoot or
the game's
asking for.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it captured that really well for me. It really evokes like my post high school period of playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's got that feel.
And I like that a lot, and that's something I've never seen attempted or successfully done in any other.
Yeah,
game.
it was really well done.
Yeah.
Keenan? What worked the best?
I was really surprised by this game's ability to make me feel in a way that most games don't.
Shit, that's what I was gonna say.
I can go elsewhere if
no,
you'd like.
No, it's fine. We can both stand in the same spot, man. It's cool.
So I don't necessarily like the things I felt, but the game did a really good job of providing a lot that you could go deep with. You can read this person's blog posts, you can read their journal, you can read, you can take a look at all the pictures they've taken of themselves. There's some interesting like growth over time in the game.
Yeah, well, the game like jumps ahead in time.
It like jumps a couple
like
months,
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it jumps ahead like a few months.
Yeah,
and so like you can kind of like infer a lot from like what
Tone
different photos she has on the folders in her desktop or like
right, and like the writing that she's doing personally sort of changes in tone.
Yeah,
and there's all this matter in there to make you be in this specific position with this character, that is really interesting because even though in the back of my head I'm like, man, this guy's kind of a tool or whatever in those situations.
Don't say the word kind of.
Fair.
Don't,
Okay.
don't qualify
This
his
guy
tool
is a
status.
toolbox. Yeah, but
He's not a whole box of tools.
okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
He's got the one tool.
So.
Oh, you're so cute.
Right. So.
No, I don't. I love you, but I don't want to be with you.
If I wasn't such a loser, I'd tell you were hot.
Oh no, I don't look good.
Yeah.
I'm like a solid 7.5, but I don't look good.
Little skinny anime boy.
Yeah. So the thing that I really enjoyed is that like I'm feeling enough of what the character is feeling while also having my own judgments. Like, it's the fake UI and stuff like allows me that ability to walk into those things. While also I'm still at my computer going like, man, what the fuck is this dude's deal? Like, you know? And so I really appreciated that they managed to do that with these things that I would consider like simple UI or it's really well executed in that regard. Do you have more or other things to say along those lines?
Tell us about feelings.
Okay, so the thing that really worked for me with this game, the thing that I will say was very good was that these people felt real enough and evoked enough emotions in me frequently enough that I had so much empathy for the main female character, who I now don't even remember the name of.
Nina Freeman.
But I had so much empathy for her that I felt very uncomfortable going through her personal documents and tweets and pictures. So for the most part, I just didn't. I watched the video vignettes and I played the game, but I felt very uncomfortable going through her things.
You're kind of like the people who play Gone Home and feel the compulsive need to put everything back where they found it, like it's a real person's house.
I have in my past, I will admit, that, going back to the shame element from earlier, I have gone through my friends' personal IM logs, looking for them talking about me with other people before. I have done this. I am ashamed of it. So for me, it's a personal thing of like.
No, I get that.
I don't want to be that person anymore.
I get that. Like I peeked on Christmas presents and then had to fake it, and I've never done it since.
I feel like peeking on Christmas presents is a far cry from breaking the trust of your friend.
That's fair, but I get what you mean in that like I don't want to do this again. I don't like the way that came out. Like
I don't like that person. So I don't want to do that even to this digital person. But like I said, it worked because the digital person was real enough that I didn't want to do that to them. I felt very uncomfortable doing that to them. So I didn't. Because I didn't fucking have to.
Like I didn't need any of that side matter, but it definitely like brought things home in a way.
So, but on a sweet segue.
So like, well, we should talk about like the story of what actually happens in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
We didn't get terribly
We
specific.
kind of alluded to some of it.
But but presumably Corey and Trevor have played the game.
I'm just
saying,
like,
go ahead. You know,
but some of our audience may not. So
there's parents in the audience. I get it.
You play as a cringy teen who, and I say cringy like in a coming from a place of understanding, as we were all once a cringy teen.
We were all once 18 and awkward.
One of the primary wells of emotion that they are going back to here was these people were me.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily, like, specifically I didn't do these things, but the way that they act and the way that they talk is very evocative of that era in our lives.
Yeah, you can see yourself in these characters.
Yeah.
Both of them, which is problematic.
So the main character, Nina, she's fallen for her moody anime boy.
Moody anime boy named Ichi.
Yeah, named Ichi, whose real name is Blake. Who she plays not Final Fantasy 12 with online.
It's definitely that game, though.
Yeah.
They mention it in the credits.
Yeah, well, I think I even saw it in an interview once. She was like, oh, yeah, I used to play that game.
Yeah, no, like, it's totally, like, there's a point in the credits where, this is totally a thing that happened.
Oh, what? Like, the girl with pink hair played a fantasy anime game? What?
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Insanity.
But yeah, so the game alternates back and forth between you playing the game and rummaging through her crap. And then eventually...
crap.
Yeah, I mean...
I just like you saying that after we talked about it in this delicate manner. like dumb 18-year-old crap, like whatever.
One can feel different ways
about
things.
No, it's fine. I was just appreciating
and admiring her, like the desktop backgrounds that she has that definitely aren't Sailor Moon. Yeah.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that.
Those were cute. I like those. And then she flies across, or he flies to her.
Yeah, he flies to New York.
I will always have a crush on Sailor Jupiter. Pretty much always.
Fair.
Yeah. So.
No,
did Jupiter have the green hair?
Green uniform, brown
hair.
hair.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was.
What?
So yeah, so through the course of the game, you're skipping ahead a couple months, and their relationship is getting as complicated as an internet video game relationship can.
Yeah.
They say the L word at each other without ever having met.
Then they meet up in real life and they sleep together once and
dude ghosts her.
Yeah, and dude's like,
I don't want to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's real shitty.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then the game just ends. It's
Yeah.
totally hammer that home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no resolution. There's no...
No, the resolution is her crying in the fetal position in a chair.
Right. And then the game's like, now it's over. Go feel that shit. Like, so it's effective.
Yeah, feeling those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But the game does really cool stuff with, like, forcing the story forward while you're doing these other things. Like, there's a lot of, like, menial MMO tasks happening, but then that allows you to focus on the dialogue.
Thank God they don't make us craft anything.
that's a bridge too far on that one.
That's one of the 4 horsemen of the gaming apocalypse, man.
Crafting? Yeah, that's why I don't play those games. Yeah, so that's, like, it's a short game. We all finished it in, like, just above an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Steam says 0.9 hours for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean, I didn't read her emails, so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, like 20 minutes
I definitely
email.
played 95% of that game and then said to myself, like, all right, I'm going to take a break for tonight and I'll finish it tomorrow. And then the next day when I booted up, I played it for about 20 seconds.
How do you keep doing that?
Like,
I don't know, man. I mean,
is your superpower not finishing things? Like,
well, I mean, you have
damn.
to admit that, like, the ending of this game, like, kind of, like, slams you in the face.
No, it's pretty quick. It's pretty
It's
quick.
not really telegraphed.
No, jokes aside, but it comes at you fast.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently I was, like, 5 seconds from seeing that video.
Of her crying in a chair in grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm really glad I played this because it showed me that, like, games don't have to be big, sweeping, insane stories to evoke feelings, because that's the only time I've ever gotten it. Right? Like, I caught that in an hour.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It shows that it can be done, which I appreciate.
Okay. Was there anything about the game that really didn't work for you?
Fucking Ichi. Like...
Well, but it sounds like he did, though.
But you can like be... You can feel 2 ways about a thing, or you can feel a way about the way you feel about something.
So I'm
right?
mad at this dude because I know that I interacted with people not to the seriousness of a degree that he did, but there are definitely people who I was like, yeah, you're cool. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Regrets time. Like,
yeah.
So I didn't like that mirror in my face.
The only thing that came close to not working for me is, and like, this is like a really nitpicky thing, is like, the look of the MMO doesn't look like a game.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
And like, I understand, like, this is a small project, like,
It's like 1 or 2 people putting it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
and they had to shoot film.
Yeah. So like I said, it's like really nitpicky, not a real thing. But it was just like, this MMO looks like a Flash game. It took me out of it a little bit, but like, then I got engrossed in the story, and then it didn't really matter. So,
Got anything you didn't like? No.
I didn't like the way that it made me feel, but that's what it was trying to do. So
it did its job well. You
like,
didn't like it.
Like I said before in our previous conversation, that's not recorded here. It made me feel feelings that I thought I was done feeling, and I didn't want to ever feel again. And then it made me feel them again, and I was like, "Hey, fuck you!" Like multiple sets of feelings,
right,
from multiple events in my life that I was just done with. And then the game was like, "Hey, you remember this shitty thing?" I'm like, "Yep, I remember that a lot." Thanks. So, what the fuck were the themes of the game, Owen?
Cringiness.
The element of cringe.
I mean, like, Keenan, feel free to jump in.
Naivete and
youth, folly, love,
horniness, anime.
I think it's about like.
You think it's about? Like...
I think it's about like. I think it's a game about that time period where no one really knows what they want.
Yeah, I mean, there's that quote at the end about first loves being
right. Like this is a slice of that for everyone. Yeah. And it resonates enough that you see something in it that's familiar, and we're all varying degrees of uncomfortable or frustrated with that, right? Because those are uncomfortable and frustrating times.
Right. How was the writing? How was the writing?
The writing was
Yeah, I like it.
effective.
The writing was effective.
Which is what I look for in writing in a
It's
video
got some
game.
it's got some fucking brevity.
It's 0 Todd Howards out of Todd Howard.
0, yeah.
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 Definitely. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
How many Simon Vicklins does it get? Like 1 out of 5?
I don't know. So like I think
2 out of 5?
I couldn't give it more than 1 out of 5 Simon Vicklins, because here's the thing. When you hear Simon Vicklin's music, you can't not be aware that you're listening to Simon Vicklin's music.
Sure.
Whereas like the music in this game is like very...
I'm not even talking about the music. I'm talking about it's like
Feel.
cyberpunk, sure, is a genre of literature, but no.
Simon
Cyberpunk is
Vicklin
more
is a
than that.
feel.
So Cyberpunk is like, Simon Vicklin is more than
Okay.
a SoundCloud. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, there was that feeling we were talking about, like, Payday 2 is a terrible game. This is a terrible, terrible game.
It's like the crunchy Cheetos of video games.
Yeah, it's fucking red hot
But that doesn't
styrofoam.
mean-
No, not Red Hot
That doesn't
Cheetos.
mean you don't want some fucking Cheetos.
Exactly.
Like,
Right? So how many Simon Vicklins does it get?
I'd give it 0 Simon Vicklins.
0? I think
honestly.
I would give it 1.
You'd give it
Just
1?
for the Flash game.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Flash game has some jank, but then it works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, so 0 Todd Howards, 1 Simon Vicklin. How many Nina Freemans does it get?
I don't know, probably 5.
5
Yeah.
Nina Freemans out of 5?
I mean,
Assuming
That
the
makes sense.
scale is
Yeah.
5.
From what I understand, like those pictures, like are from
Those are her.
Yeah, like when she was in high school and shit, and it's like it is like her poetry from her live journal from back in the day.
Right,
So
like, which is part of why I think it works. Is
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
she's just like, hey, check out my soul! And you're like, oh, shit!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. All right. I mean, cool. Do we have anything else we want to say about this video game?
I don't know if
Did we win the video game?
I finished it.
I
finished
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
chicken hat,
No,
averted.
no chicken hat.
So what's the current score on Chicken
Well,
Hat?
so we didn't
For
talk.
this season.
We didn't talk about it at all, but I definitely got the chicken hat for Flashback
Okay.
because that game is terrible. And
I finished it. How are we clarifying chicken hat?
So-
Is
so
it finished?
Matt definitely got further in it than I did.
Yeah, that's because like if you finish, it's like Survivor. You've earned immunity,
Okay.
right? But then we go and we look at everybody else, and if everybody finished the game, no Chicken Hat that week.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Unless it's a game like Brigador, where like you can keep playing.
Or
right?
like Duskers.
Or like Duskers, right? So it's about how, like, it's at that point, it's about like who put the most hours in, or how far they got in the main story.
Okay.
I
Fair.
I think the next game pick should be Factorio, and we'll compare how many satellites we all launched, and then whoever gets the lowest,
Yo, I'm gonna take a week off.
whoever
I'm
gets the
gonna catch
lowest,
up.
whoever gets the lowest gets that many chicken hats. The difference
No,
is
no.
how many chicken hats
No.
they get.
I'm gonna hire all the CS majors we know to write me a program to play that game for me.
Okay. I think if people like what they've heard about this game, I think it's still, we can't capture the nuances in it.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth playing if you haven't already.
What do you
And
mean?
you're
Do you
interested.
mean there's people listening to our podcast who haven't played the game?
Sometimes Trevor fucking slacks off.
I will
alright?
smite them.
Like I've heard that Trevor isn't always playing along.
Surely.
Surely.
Okay. So
Who's Shirley?
Keenan.
Yeah.
Keenan.
What's up?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yep.
So there's this thing. There's a little bit of a forward here. It won't
There's
take
a
too
little
long.
bit
though.
of a hard transition.
It won't
Yeah.
take too long.
Okay.
So there's this thing happening in wrestling right now where there's still a lot of the older talent around watching wrestling, and their way of doing things isn't the modern way of doing things, and they think that's fucking terrible. And they get on Twitter and they freak the fuck out.
Sure.
Oh, so and so's killing the business with these backflips.
Old things not like new things, not like the old
Right,
thing.
right.
Biggest rock is best rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, there's this whole argument going on in the wrestling internet circles, as well as maybe not in the locker rooms, because it seems like everyone who's in the locker rooms is on the same page.
Okay.
But there's definitely like old timers that are like pissed off at people doing backflips and other like flippy shit is a problem. And then stuff happens where like
Get out of my face.
where they're like, oh, those guys couldn't do a match without the top rope if it snapped. Well, 2 months later, the top rope snaps on those two dudes, and they still put on a good-ass match. Like, they know what they're doing. They're just doing shit different from you, dude.
Yeah.
Right? So, this weekend, Leo Rush is this fantastic 5'2" wrestler. He's amazing. As a short guy, he inspires me because there are not very many short guy
Keenan's
wrestlers.
short.
So he's really good, and he's sort of making his, like, he's calling it his final hour tour, because his whole thing is that he's Leo Rush, his finisher is Rush Hour, like, he's got time gimmicks attached to him, right? So he's doing the final hour tour around indie wrestling. He was in Seattle this week.